Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Ask Kate. It's been a few weeks in between doing this because I have stuffed up our times just with the time difference, and we've been so busy and Kate's been so busy. So today we're going to talk about how long does it take? So, I have this conversation so many times with our clients. Like I was just telling Kate, I was speaking to a client last week and she was having a meltdown on the phone. She hadn't seen any changes in her measurements and it had been like 4 weeks. And she was like, well, when's it going to happen? On other programs that I've done, I've seen changes quickly. And I'm like, yeah, but did those other programs work? Are you where you want to be? And she's like, yeah, no. And I'm like, so you've been doing what you've been doing for 10 years and you haven't seen results in 4 weeks? She's like, yeah, you're right. So, yeah, Kate, what do you like? Do you get that with your clients too? Like, I think, yeah,
everyone,
yeah,
everyone.
I think it's the industry to you, like the fitness industry. They all promising 12 weeks, get the dream body, feel great. I mean, none of them even really ever talk about how you feel. They just talk about getting this body, and I think that get it in 12 weeks, get results.
Well, sure, and you have to remember how we're programmed. Like society is constantly programming us with our, with 8-week and 12-week and all these short-term programs. And quite honestly, those all work, the way that they have them, low calorie, low carbing, excessive exercise, all those. I mean, they will produce quick results, but they're never going to be long lasting. And they're certainly not going to get you any closer to health. But we've all been programmed to think that, and that's the way. And so even when I know you probably talk to people and they're like, yes, this makes sense. And yes, I know I've been doing the same thing over and over again, eliminating different things or whatever. And I've done diets 20 times over and they work for 3 to 6 months and then they don't work anymore, and that's the truth. They don't, right? Because they're all about quickness, speed, do some metabolic damage, lose some weight quick, and then your body can't sustain that. And so trying to heal the system and get it on the right with a proper foundation, because you've been destroying it for 10, 20, 30 years, isn't going to fix itself in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I mean, you'll get better. You'll feel better. You're just going to start having more energy. You'll start getting results, but the weight might be the last thing that occurs. Yeah. But it will happen. But along the road, you've got to get healthier first.
Yeah. And we I'll do this weekly webinar, educational webinar, and we talk about that, and I'll often bring clients on. And it's really interesting too, because we've worked with a large volume of clients now, and there is no set time frame. Like women are always saying to me, why is this woman getting results? Why has it taken me 18 months and it's taken her 6 months? And, I think, like you said, it really depends on where is your starting point. So, if you've been dieting for 20 years, if you've taken contraception for 20 years, if you've been doing excessive exercise, you've got a lot of fat to lose. Obviously it's going to take you a lot longer. And I also think too, and I say this all the time, but consistency is king. The women that get the best results are the ones that are the most consistent with their nutrition. Because there's nothing beats consistency. Nothing.
Yeah, and I think that's an important point, because everyone starts looking at the big long haul, and they think, oh my God, I have to do all these things, and I have, and make all these changes, and it's going to take, when we start saying it could take years, people are like, shit, that's too long. I'm like, I go, look, don't worry about that. Here's what you got to worry about just today. And these are the things you're going to do today. And this is the changes you're going to make today. You're going to eat your raw carrot salad. You're going to combine your food. You're going to food log. You're going to take your temperature and pulse. And then we're going to see what tomorrow brings. But literally, if you can focus just on today, because it is the daily commitments of change that are going to create the body change, right? And,
totally.
What I get from people is they start thinking, I don't know everything. I don't know everything I'm doing right now. It's too overwhelming. So what do? They do nothing. Right?
Yes,
and
yes.
I go, I go, 5 things. Right. Yeah. So I literally will try, depending on what they want. I'm like, focus on 5 things. And that's it. But I go, I will guarantee you, if you focus on the weight, because we've all been conditioned to do that. I go, you're going to get in your own way, and you're going to prevent yourself from moving forward. So instead, you're going to focus on the day-to-day. You're going to focus on temperature and pulse and food logging. And if you do that each day, those are your successes. And if you keep doing those, then you will change.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Like we've I've watched all of these women, like we've got women in our group that have been in it right from the start of our online program, and we do fortnightly coaching calls with them. And I was talking to one of the ladies that's been with us for 6 months, and she'd come from a CrossFit background. So she just smashed herself and she got really lean. And then, she stopped and put all this weight on, just had all these issues, like couldn't sleep through the night and, just all the normal stuff.
Right.
And I remember when she first started in the program and she was really up and down, just you could see her head because we really encourage the women to be open and talk and reflect. And I look at where she was and where she is now, and it's just been an incredible in terms of her headspace, because you could see over time, because we always hammer the same thing. Are you being consistent? Are you being consistent? Are you being consistent? That's all I ever say to people. And over time, she's slowly gotten more consistent, and we've just set her calories, and she's found a point where she sleeps through the night. She doesn't have cravings anymore. Energy's good. And then she has been really consistent with that. She went on holidays as well. And because she knows that when she's at work, she gets really stressed. So she's like, I just need to really set myself up with a good routine and good, behaviors and standards before I go back to work. And she's now gone back to work and she's been good. And we've upped her calories again. So we've upped them to 25, 50. She only trains 3 days a week, weight trains. And she said, look, I've stopped weighing and measuring myself, because I'm like, you don't even need to do that. The body will happen. And she said, I just jumped on the scales the other day, and she's like, I am down 2 kilos for the first time in a few years. And she said, I can feel my body changing. It's all changing, and she's like, all I've done is just be consistent. So I think, like you say, if you just it can get that out, it's like the lag measure. The body is the lag measure. The lead measure is the things, like you say, that you do every single day, the consistency with the food, preparing your food, doing your training if you can. Obviously, I think if some people are really stressed. Yeah, we've had women, we've said, look, just dial your training back for 12 weeks. And then once you're feeling better, then we've introduced it again. But it's really interesting to see people's headspace shift. And you're like, come on, if you can just, get through this little bit and just get consistent, you'll start to see those gradual results. And it's it snowballs, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, and what I explain, and what I, with people that have let their health go to crap, or that have just, whatever they've done, and they're not healthy at this point in time, most of those people are very busy. And they've basically gotten out of their bodies, and they're so out here externally doing everything, their kids, their work, and everything else. They've forgotten about themselves. And so they have to learn to retrain those habits of what it takes to take care of themselves. Right. And so we can give them, and nothing that we tell people, and I know you do the same thing, nothing I say to anybody is freaking rocket science. This is not hard per se. I should say that it's simple information. It can be hard depending on your programming. So if you're not programmed to take care of yourself, and you're so outside and doing everything for everybody else, just the simple things are going to be challenging. So one thing I always say to people, if we're going to change you, you've got to make space in your day every day to take care of yourself, whether that's cooking, preparing your food, meditating, whatever it is that can bring you down to de-stress yourself. That has to be a number one priority, because if you don't make the space, it's not going to happen, right? We're not going to just change and just think, oh, I'm just going to have all these foods. No, because you're not going to do it, because, so first and foremost, it's like, how important are you to yourself? What kind of time and space can you make for yourself? And then you only do a few things, because once you do a few things, that's going to snowball, and then you can do a few more things, and so forth, right? Nobody ran the marathon the first day. It's training. You're retraining yourself to get healthier. Right. And we're supplying a different plan that most people have ever had in their life. So for them, they want to go back to the comfort zone, even though they didn't work. Right. They did it 50 times. It didn't work, but it's so in their head that that's what they're comfortable. Right. That's what they want to pull back to. So it's like, you got to rein them back in every time. I'm like, no, this is all you have to do. And this is what you can focus on, these things. And do them repeatedly, and then in a month or a week or whatever, we'll give you a few more things. That's how you're going to get better. And it's like, it's not rocket science. It's consistency. It's taking time and space for yourself, and it's just doing the stuff without overthinking about it.
Yeah, and then just saying to yourself, I think too, not being so goal focused and just been like, this is how I live now, you know, because I think have micro commitments and micro goals, but you know, it's like instead of thinking, because, you know, I think a lot of women come into programs, well, not ours or yours so much, but they're like, I'm just going to get to this goal and then I'll go back to how I was. But it's like, no, this is how you are now. Like, this is a way of life. This is, you're going to do this for the rest of your life. But I mean, good.
I think goals are good, but if the goal is, I'm going to make a raw carrot salad every day, I'm going to think about my food every day, I'm going to food log and take my temp and pulse. And if those can be your goals, your daily goals, versus I'm going to sit on a scale every day and figure out how I can take more weight. No, that goal sucks, right? That goal doesn't ever work, right? I mean, and it stresses you out. And if that is your goal, you're going to put too much stress upon your system. And then when you fail that thing, you know, it's even more stressful. Whereas these are daily, simple goals, right? That could be challenging if you don't make time and space. So you have to create that time and space, and just do them every day. Stop thinking, like, just do those. Stop trying to analyze, oh my God, and what am I losing weight, or whatever it is that you used to think, right? We got to reprogram. So people have to unlearn all the garbage they learned before, which is challenging, and start creating new pathways. Your brain has to have different pathways, right? So that you start creating new habits, because it will start up here, right? Everyone's a freaking head case. So you got to work on that. And that's those daily commitments, right? We have to create a new path.
Yeah. I think too that the stress, we talked about that as well, as a lot of you know, women will come in and they've got really stressful jobs and stressful lives, and that just prolongs the process, because of that it's a holistic approach. You know, like, of course you're never going to avoid stress in your life, like that's unreasonable, but you know, your diet and lifestyle should help to safeguard you. But if you're constantly under a lot of stress and pressure, that's going to really affect your body. So I think it's looking at all of those things: sun, stress, sleep.
Yeah, if you're working 80 hours a week in a miserable relationship, you know, you're underwater with your finances. I mean, all of those things, as we say, will add up into your stress bucket. Your thing is over full. So we can give you a good diet, but it's only going to help you so much, right? So it literally, you know, when people come in, the diet, a supportive diet can help you get through a lot of stress, but it's not going to cure and make your stress go away. And so, you know, you have to look at those other avenues and take control of your life, because our society is absolutely insane in today's world. You know, everyone is being pulled in 17 different directions and is trying to do everything for everyone. And you can't do it. You know, it's absolutely insane. And I think, and then, you know, I think we have to rein it back a little bit so that we can kind of look and take care of ourselves, because a lot of what we're doing isn't working, but we all keep doing it. I'm like, is your life working? I mean, I think it's important to ask people, are you happy? Do you feel like this is working, what you're doing? You know, and they're like, I guess it's not. I go, okay. So then first step, like, what can you change? What can you give for yourself? Right. And some people, and I'm sure you've had this experience where as you go through this journey with them, they might end up, you know, ending a relationship. They might end up quitting their job.
Yeah.
They might end up, you know, making a huge shift in their life because, you know, they realize I need to do this to support my healing. And, you know, that's a whole nother component that, you know, that we're just there for. But yeah, the food and the day-to-day consistencies will start opening up more space for people to consider, what else is it that I need to do?